He will carry his own bag into the airport, he will do his own check-in, there is no security, there is no paraphernalia, there is nothing about it. That we can't control. That sound is we can't control. I thought some mobile sound, I thought for a moment. First reaction was that. We think alike, sir. Our thinking is alike, aligned. So exaggerated glorification of oneself. So when she said, here is a man of a great caliber, but has no ego at all. That's the character of a person. A character of a person is where there is knowledge. How does one recognize the presence of knowledge? How does one recognize? By conversation. How does one recognize knowledge? By behavior. What is the behavior? You're right. How does he handle himself? In the context of it, knowledge, in fact, the first expression of knowledge is when you become intelligent, how does it express? Okay, you both kids answer. Okay, when you learn something new and your appa says something to you about it, what do you say? Sir, I'm asking those two kids there. I will answer panna kudunga. You learn something already. Appa or amma teaches you the same thing or tells you about it. What do you say? I know already. I already know. Whether you learned it from internet or from teacher or from some friends, you already know. So the first expression of knowing is I know. Unknowingly you're asserting your arrogance. I know. That's the first level, first expression of knowledge. Beware. Watch out. But when knowledge sinks in, when it gets settled, when it transforms into wisdom, then it starts expressing as humility. No, you don't have an air about all what you know. Because you know what you don't know is far more than what you know. And what I know is just little, man. In fact, these were the chosen words of what great Einstein, when he was felicitated on an occasion, he was said to speak a few words. Sir, Tamil theriyad sir, adha quote pannala sir. Please forgive me for not quoting Tamil. Very true. No, why am very true. Sir, can you send it to me in WhatsApp with your interpretation? I need to know. Transliteration also. What the Sanskrit, I would like to pick it up so that I can talk about it. I'll replace Einstein and say this. as you say so. Everything is here. Colony. There are few doctors here will endorse, correct, doctor? The reverse is not true. Just okay, if you're egoistic, you have BP, but just because you have BP doesn't mean you have to be egoistic. The converse is not true. You can't make a sweeping statement on the Madri. Mm. Einstein said, when he was felicitated, we are just quoting a man of wisdom, that's all. And he said, what is my knowledge compared to my ignorance? Can you and me say so? And mean so? I may quote so, but do I mean so? Does it reflect in the way I deal with life? Does it deal the way my body language, you said, the way I communicate with people? So it takes a lot for the knowledge to settle, to bring out that humility. So I said Krishna went about destroying Kamsa and Chanura. In fact, there is a reference of it in the Dhyana shlokas. Vasudeva sutam devam Kamsa Chanura Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We are honoring Krishna through that. What did Krishna do? He destroyed the Kamsa and Chanura. So get into the philosophical significance. Again, when you say take the devotional aspect, it is very touching. Intellectual, one caters to the heart, another caters to the head. Again, various aspects. There is a story of Krishna killing the mighty serpent with many heads. Kaliya? He dances on that Kaliya Nardhanam. So the snake which was there in that lake, it poisoned the whole lake, and in which a lake which was a blessing to that village was a curse. And Krishna goes and finds out. He knew intuitively something is not right. So what does the lake mean? Again, symbolic. Let's not get into the story. You know the story. You know the story, Sunita? So what does the lake symbolize? The mind. The lake is the vast mind of yours. And then there is the many heads. There is a snake. The snake with its many heads symbolizes your ego and all your egocentric desires. And what does that do to the mind? It poisons the mind. It pollutes it. So Krishna went down into the lake, destroyed the demon, the dragon. Sheshanaga illa, they different. Sheshanaga is different, sir. Kaliya Mardhana. So he dances on the snake's head. Which conquering. He conquered one's own ego. And the story goes, there's no end to the comparison. And you will always see Krishna playing a flute. everyone was very envy at the flute. It was very dear to Krishna. Everybody wanted to get close to get to Krishna. Everything was envious at that flute because flute is that which is very close to Krishna. But what is it that flute had done to get so dear to Krishna? Where he produced divine music from it. Enchanting music. What did the flute do to be so dear to Krishna? Sorry? Submitted. Through the flute. But what did the flute do? If you look at the flute, what it did is it emptied itself. What is the flute? Isn't it a drill the holes, but still isn't it an empty bamboo? Very hollow. Nothing is inside there. You see through, you can actually see the other side of it. So what did the bamboo do? It emptied itself and it became very dear to Krishna, where he produced enchanting music from it. So what's the symbolism behind it? When you empty your personality of the desires and the vasanas, divinity will flow through you with an enchanting. You live an enchanted life. You will emanate that enchanting bliss. That's only possible when you empty your personality. Now God is there right within us, isn't it? But that divinity within us is obscured, is tainted, is conditioned, is limited by our own desires and vasanas and our ego. So there is an example often given. On one hand, is a brilliant brass vessel, shining. Another hand, have the same make, same type, bought from the same shop, but it's completely tarnished. Tarnished with dirt. I take the brasso and I start cleansing the vessel which is dirty. And thereafter I present both the vessels to you and I ask you, which was the one which was tarnished? Would you know? You wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Now I ask you, did I give brilliance to that tarnished brass vessel? Sir, did I give brilliance? I spent an hour, put in a lot of effort, polishing it. And when I present to you, I ask you, did I give brilliance to that brass vessel? Why do you say so? Did I give the brilliance to the vessel? Doctor? Why? How do you say that? I just enabled it. What I did is I only removed the dirt. I did not give brilliance to the vessel. I cannot, because brilliance was its original nature. That was the very nature of that brass vessel, like the other which was not tarnished. So I can't claim to have given any brilliance to it because that's its nature. What I have done is I have only removed the tarnishing. I have removed the dirt, the mala. In Sanskrit you call dirt. I have removed the dirt. Just like brilliance is the original nature of that brass vessel, what is your original nature? What is your nature? Sorry? I see a little less happiness when you say happiness. Now I see little happiness on her face. She said happiness. Even happiness must be said little happy, no? That to be in that reveling in that bliss and happiness which you found in life of Krishna. He was full of fun and frolic and mischief and all that he did. In spite of all the challenges Krishna had, he never was morose, he never was dull. Wherever he was, there was so much of life and vibrance, isn't it? Even if you look at the life of Krishna, full of energy. He was born in a prison. The moment he was born, his uncle was hell-bent on killing him. With all the challenges he had, he never lost a smile on his face. He never failed to bring a smile on your face and my face. That was the life of Krishna. We're talking about that bliss and that happiness. So when can you bring that enchanting bliss from you? Sorry, ma? Pray to Krishna. We are doing right now. We are praying Krishna only. Remove the tarnish. You are missing the point. Yes, sir. Only hope. Sudhakar Garu. How to bring that enchanting bliss? Let it. How do you allow it to emanate from you? It is right there within you. How do you bring it out? How to bring the happiness? Ni parent ma? Ramcharan. There's a hero called Ramcharan, huh? Oh, different Ramcharan. Different Charan. But his Charan is better than that Charan. Charan is a, what do you say? Charan isn't a path. Charan is a feet, isn't it? Charan is feet. Is there more meaning to Charan? Must be. Huh? No, huh? Only one meaning. Huh? Sometimes the Sanskrit words are so, there's a word called dharma in Sanskrit. If you pick up that Sanskrit dictionary, the word dharma runs into a few pages. பார்த்து சொல்றேன் பார்த்துட்டு சொல்றேன் அது தேவை இப்போ எவ்வளவு பேஜ் தேவை that is more important now. What is more important, sir, now is how to bring out the bliss. That's what I asked, sir, isn't it? How to bring out that bliss, doctor? What was I explaining? If you followed the thought, what was I trying to explain? How did Krishna bring about enchanting music? The flute. How was he able to produce that enchanting music from the flute? What did I say? The flute emptied itself. How can you bring that enchanted bliss which is right within you? You have to empty yourself of your ego and your desires and vasanas. You will be able to revel and emanate and enchant yourself and the world. E. Carpenter, sir, Englishman. He is called the Brahmachari of England. E. Carpenter. Google him. E. Carpenter. He says, if you want to do any good to yourself, are you really interested in doing good to yourself? Very sure? Then you follow the next advice. Huh? If you're really sure, you must follow the next advice also. He says, if you want to do any good to yourself, the only way is you must clean drop thinking about yourself. No ifs, no buts, no exclamations, no conditions. Clean drop thinking about yourself, and that's the only way you'll do all good to yourself. I don't think any one of us in this classroom are qualified to do that. We are somewhere there, but yet a long way to go. I think about myself. I am no one to judge you. I know a long way to go. But I am sincerely trying. To do what? To clean drop thinking about myself. And yet all what we do is I and my, I and my, I and my. How can you do any good to yourself? Ahankaram and Mamakaram. Who said that? All in text only. It's all here. No, it's just a different flavor to it. You get the same thing, but the beauty is you're able to tap it from. I'm quoting E. Carpenter while I'm talking about Krishna. That's the beauty of the wisdom which is universal. But the idea comes out sometimes very, very candid, very beautiful, which is to just stop or drop, clean drop. They say as a penny drops. If you're holding on to something, imagine this is hot. What will I do? I will not, because it will break. But imagine, if I'm holding, first thing I'll drop it, isn't it? You got to, but you are now holding on very dearly to yourself. Then next question is, sir, if I stop about thinking of myself, then what will happen to me, sir? Isn't it? If I stop thinking about myself, who will take care of me? What will happen to me? It's a vicious cycle. You're caught up in that I and my. Even there is I know. The sad part is the I is there also. No, you're right what you're saying. Nothing. In fact, to be able to get into that zone of that nothing or emptiness, that emptiness is everything. You know, even in spiritual journey, everything culminates in what, sir? The entire spiritual journey culminates in what? Or not culminates. Culminates is realization. What is the penultimate stage? Moksha is culmination. What is that? Please think along in the context. I'm talking about, what am I talking about now? Emptiness, nothingness. We spoke about the mind which is poisoned with many thoughts and desires and ego, polluting, which is causing. I had an online discussion till 4:45. I was having a monthly question answer session. The group meets there for 2 hours and then they bring me into online and they clarify. 70% of the discussion, there were 3 groups, two groups discussed. The questions were, what causes agitation? Another group discussed, when an agitation arises, how to come out of that agitation. So if you look at life, is there anyone in this classroom who is liberated from agitation? Who is free from mental agitations? There is that restlessness, there is that agitation, the insecurity, isn't there? Now, when you progress, wouldn't that start subsiding? As you spiritually evolve, the mental agitation becomes lesser and lesser. Now, when it comes to a point, one step short of realization, where would you be? In a state of total silence. I was looking for that word silence. When you reach that stage before realization, your mind is in complete silence. So when you are sitting and meditating, what are you trying to achieve? That mental silence. So if any thought comes by, you push it aside. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Calm down, calm down. This perhaps dies, something else comes. Then what do? Shanti, Shanti. Then something else comes. This is the problem. It's like a chaos, a traffic jam inside. the entire spiritual sadhana boils down to mind control. And if there's one way to measure your spiritual development is by checking your ability to keep your mind. Can you control your mind? People confess, I am sitting in the prayer room, I have no control over my mind. I am meditating, I have no control over my mind. I am sitting in the classroom listening to you, my mind is not here. I know very well, I know that. That's the reason my neck is the most exercised in the class. So I keep looking for people who are concentrating. Hardly, suddenly mind goes off somewhere. Solunga sir. Very sorry to hear that. No, why leave it? You said something, I have taken it, now leave it. You said for me to take it or leave it. What is this? I can't understand. Sir, I have heard you very clearly, sir. You telling me that this, if I heard you correctly, please correct me. This 1.5 hours Sunday in the whole week is the most happiest moment for the whole week. Which I said, I'm very sorry for that, because I'm very sorry what's happening rest of the week. Not what's happening this 1.5 hours, what's happening rest of the week, I'm very sorry for that. Solunga. Continued rest of the week, you should be happy. Not that means how, I'm not being personal when you say that, how miserable is rest of the week I'm concerned about. I'm very sorry to hear that. Yeah, I get that. True. Sir, I take that liberty with you, sir. With him especially. With the audience, certainly so. Thank you very much. You know what Krishna told end of the Gita? He gave that very valuable advice to a very dear friend who needed it most. As you know, Arjuna became emotional. He lost his balance. He couldn't do what he was ought to do. It's to fight a righteous war. And help came timely through a very dear friend, his advice which he gave, the Gita, which you know. At the end of it, having given the advice, you know what Krishna said? Said, it's true, that's one of the very important aspects he advises Arjuna. But one of the last things I'm referring to the 18th chapter. 18th chapter has got 78 verses. One of the last messages he gives to Arjuna, having given the entire advice to him. End of it he said, Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. What does it mean? What does it mean? You do what you think is right. What you think is right, please do it, Arjuna. He thereafter did not have any interest in the outcome of his actions. You spend so much time and effort and attention you have given to someone. Having given an advice, what is the least that you would expect, sir? That he follows. So you're giving an advice, like in Shakespeare, Polonius gives an advice to his son Leartus in the play Hamlet. You must read that. You must read that excerpt from the play Hamlet. Polonius is a minister, and Polonius advised to Leartus, his son. Leartus, his son, is going for higher education, and the parting message Polonius gives to his son is one of the most valuable piece of any English literature. It runs into the 15-20 lines. Oh, it's outstanding. So when you give an advice, isn't it you expect that the advice is taken? But Krishna, he openly says, I have no saying in the choice you make, whether you still want to fight the battle or you want to abandon it. You decide what you think is right. Now, Solra, I don't have that reference to the verse. So I'm just taking one couple of words from that verse. 18th chapter, end level. Anyone have the reference to the actual verse? But I can give it to you, not an issue. Don't get distracted for now. Now, Solra. Now, what does that symbolize? Which is very, very important in our conduct of life, whatever we do. You don't trust. Yeah. You don't trust your ideas having given. What does that convey? What is that quality we all need to imbibe and practice? In fact, we lose the game of life in that particular quality. We have lost it. Because we have that tremendous, terrible attachment, isn't it? To your near and dear, most importantly. You mean so much to do for them, you are interested in the welfare, and it really hurts you when you see them not following or taking the advice or enabling them. So you're trying to enable or ennoble them, but yet you see them not making use of it. It's one of the most difficult things to accept, especially to near and dear. If you give an advice to your colleague, he doesn't take it, not bothered. No, that's your life, man. How am I interested? You don't see what I'm telling you. That's you. That's I don't care. But yet you care. You gave the advice to him, yet you have that attitude of I don't care. In that caring. But when it comes to the most important areas of your family, of your kith and kin, of your near and dear, you are not able to play that role. And there you pay the price. Exactly what Arjuna went through. He got caught up in that emotion. So what is that quality Krishna is conveying? He was a witness. If you can practice being a witness to your actions, he was a sakshi. The word witness is sakshi. The sakshi bhava. In English it's called being objective. You're objectively watching all what's happening. As if you're unconcerned, but you're very much concerned. So you're concerned to your duties, you must be unconcerned to the consequences of your action. Huh? A mother teaches a child with great effort. Then after whether a child passes in merit or doesn't do that well, the mother ought to have an unconcern to the fruits of action, isn't it? How can you be so attached or concerned to the fruits of your action? There's a verse which deals with it as I was quoting. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Karmani eva adhikara. Your adhikara, your right is only in karma, in action. Never to the fruits thereof. Fundamental principle of corporate management. Work. We teach this in corporate training. Renounce the fruit. Accent is on action. Bring the best out of your action. How to be optimum in your action. How to be dexterous. How to be efficient. How to be productive. How to be industrious. And yet to keep your mind calm and balanced and poised, both at the same time. It's a rare art, unknown of. Because when you put in so much of your time, effort, life into it, obviously you want results, you want fruits, you want benefits, you want rewards, and it is the very anxiety for that you have lost your peace of mind. So if you are able to inject that capacity, that ability to be a witness to the fruits of your actions, which what Krishna did. Having told the Gita, he said, Yatha ichchasi tata kuru. You do what you think is right. He merely presents the truth to him and let him decide what he wants to do. Yesterday, Vaishnavi, remember what I was telling? We all were going for dinner yesterday night. And there was a reference in some context. I will not take a reference of the context. You remember me saying this, Vaishnavi? Ours is just to introduce what is the best to you. It is yours to decide. Isn't it? You remember me saying, I said that statement to her yesterday. As a parent, my job is to give her the best. Whether be it music or education or whatever. I'm not saying she's choosing the right or wrong. It's not my job. If she chooses a particular thing, mine is to only give her that exposure. I can even be instrumental in the choice to make, but I can't be concerned with the choices she makes. Not now, not later. To keep my sanity, I must be objective. But if I start deciding what you should do, I have lost my peace of mind. So those people who should be very near, in fact, the people who are very near and dear to you cause you more pain than your enemies out there. You will have people who don't like you, but they're not causing as much trauma to you as much as your near and dear are causing, which is a tragedy of life. It's the saddest thing that can happen in life is someone who means something to you, you do so much for them, and yet they cause the misery to you. And yet it is not they, it is how you deal with them. You do not know how to deal with them. It is not your near and dear. You seem to blame them. It's not them, it's how you relate. If you have the little dispassion, little detachment, little renounce, just renounce here. Doesn't matter. How does it matter? Give your 100% to the effort, but renounce the fruit. People have misunderstood this concept of renunciation. Totally misunderstood. Therefore, Gita is there is no better management tool than the Bhagavad Gita. No greater management. All these people are puppets. All the greatest management gurus today are puppets in front of this giant knowledge. Giant, Vishala Buddha, as they say, giant intellects. You name who are the modern so-called Western gurus or any Indian, any guru. What are they parroting? They're parroting. Whatever they're talking is outhouse of this knowledge they're talking, outhouse. The real works are here. It's just that these people didn't bother to market it. They are just marketing few ideas and making millions out of it, that's all. One simple advice, believe me, can revolutionize your life. It can change your whole perception to life. It change your life.
Everything is monetary concept. There is management, core is monetary.
No. No doubt it can have a monetary angle.
Quality of monetary.
I'm not demeaning anything, but I'm saying the grandeur of what is here is too profound. Very, very profound. So throughout, so how to retain, how to find yourself in peace and bliss, how to be peaceful and happy at all times. What's the theorem? Let go. That capacity to let go. In fact, they say in the Shastras, Tena Tyaktena Bhunjidaha. Ishavasya Upanishad. Upanishad, I'm quoting. Ishavasya midago sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagata tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam. This is one of the profound statement of one of the Upanishads. I'll repeat again. Om Ishavasya midago sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagata tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam kurvanneveha karma anijiji vishe chatago samaaha evam tvainanyatheto osti na karma lipyate nare asurya mate loka mandhena tamasavrataha taguste pretyabhigachanti yeke cha atmahano janaha ane jade kammanaso javi yo nainat deva aapnu vanpurvamashat tadhavatto jnanatye titishtat tasmin napoma atarishva adadhati tade jati tannai jati tadhure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyatah. I can go on. Hair stands on end. Literally. The highest truths ever known to mankind. And of the first verse, Tena Tyaktena, that's all, the two words we're talking about. Bhunjidaha. May you enjoy through renunciation. Two seemingly innocuous words they have used, but that is the profound meaning behind this. Let go, you said. So something which is bothering you in life, if you are able to let go of that, instantly you are liberated. You find all that peace and bliss. You're losing that because you're holding on to it. I'm reminded of, I have 3 minutes to go. I'll give this example and conclude. There was a monkey. Its little one died. But the monkey was actually holding on to that baby very dearly. The second day, maggots, they started eating the baby. The mother was still holding on to the baby. The maggots ate the entire baby, still holding on to the skeleton. The maggot started eating the mother. That is when it let go. That is what you are doing to yourself. But the only sad thing is, even when it is eating you, you are not letting go. You are still holding on to that dead carcass. So you are holding on to the dead non-essentials of life. Renounce the lower, enjoy the higher. So your real growth is when you can renounce the lower. I am giving you the highest knowledge. There's nothing greater than this. I'm not saying I'm any great. I'm saying the knowledge is of the highest order. But yet it can only serve you when you can renounce your pettiness and your childishness. Grow up. The growth comes when you can renounce the lower. Not how much you learn the higher. No, it's not how much you learn. Get rid of the lower. Find out what are you all holding on to. Something you're holding on to. Your pettiness, your childishness, your smallness, your littleness. And that little world of yours is everything to you. It means everything to you. It means a world to you. That business contract means a world to you. A few more dollars means a world to you. Your family means a world to you. Man, there's much more to life than that, man. Sorry, sir?
For all of us, 1.5 hours will be used for the next 1 week.
So if you probe into Krishna's life, there's much more you learn from his life, and there's far more through his teachings. Teachings is much direct. So, yes, sir. Appreciate. Louder. What is mananam? What is mananam? Adi kuda cheppandi. See, using a Sanskrit word, he may not follow. Not everybody may follow. Cheppandi. English lo cheppandi. I don't know whether you heard him clearly, audible. He's saying what you heard today must be followed up by a constant reflection for the next 6 days until you reappear next week again here. One day before I sent the message to you. And apologies for people who did not receive the message. If you can, please pass your numbers to Vijaya there. At least we will be able to reach out. At least I think, if you don't mind, we'll create a group, a WhatsApp group. It becomes easier to communicate, okay? So the foundation will create a group, so don't be annoyed that another group is being created. It is only going to communicate whether the class is there or not. Because a press of a button, 20-30 people can be reached. Otherwise, I had to actually single out everyone and send. And sadly, I missed Mr. Krishnamurti. He ended up here. So I was very apologetic for that. We'll see how best to communicate. It's true. Okay. No, we will plan ahead. For example, if there is no class next week, we would have told you today. Because of the festive, we just wanted to consider what was the kind of quorum we would get. So we had to decide last minute. But technical, solunga. Sorry. I think now there's a feature which restricts others to post it in the group. So if at all you do post it, it comes only to the admin. So I don't think that is happening now. We wanted to control. See, what's happening is we have these videos. We have 100, 200 people, and each one is commenting. Even if we're to thank, everybody is being disturbed. So we had to find a way how to restrict that. I think now there is a feature in the WhatsApp which allows only the admin to post. That was earlier. Now we have addressed that, sir. So it should not be an issue. But if anything there, You can directly communicate with us. You get the daily snippet videos. You see them? Okay. You're receiving.
Previous lectures, other things, we do not recommend.
No. But we told not to comment, but we didn't tell not to see, no? Please, you should see what is posted. Right, sir. Please. Oh yeah, you can please, with freedom. Thank you. Next week class is on, huh? After all this. Yeah, no. Just to be clear. Yeah, correct.